Today we will learn about the concept of inheritance in object-oriented programming. This is a very important concept in which help us design modular program and which help us aggregate the common properties of related objects into one class. So how do we progress about that is, let's assume uh, we have a kind of like a university where there are people which we are trying to write a program. In a university, what kind of people, if we go very simply, we can find the faculty in a university, we can find students. So basically, we have a faculty, we can have students, right? Then there might be staff members, right? There might be staff, and there could be physical plant employees and police officers that all work in the university. All of these people are a person, right? So what we can do is, there are certain characteristics that are common to all of these different types of people that we can put in person. So to keep it simple, just to kind of convey the concept, each of them has a name, right? Each of them has a name, each of them has a university ID, right? And each of them has an address. Now then it can happen, but students have GPA, faculty does not have GPA. Faculty and staff have pay, student does not have pay unless they are a student worker. For that we will have to design another class. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to, because when we say a person, that doesn't convey a lot of information, but it only conveys the common properties that we are talking about, faculty, student, or staff. Then what we can do is, from the person we can extend a person to be a faculty, and then we can extend a person to be a student. Now there might be possible that you have a part-time student or you have full-time student, right? There might be students who are only there for full-time. There are students who could be full-time. So we can actually divide them further into further categories. So my purpose here is that there are common things or attributes that we can define in one place, and then we can just extend them to include the spatial characteristic of the extended class, and that is where the inheritance come in. Now if we so our objective here is to learn how to represent that concept in a program. Okay, so I'm going to use NetBeans to show you my little program that I made, and then we can extend from there, and then we can explain the purpose of that. So here I have defined a public class which I am calling person, and the only two things that I have defined in here is a name and an age. Okay, then I have a, there are methods to get the value of name, and there are methods to return the set the value of name. Similarly, I have the same thing for name and age. For age, get and set methods for name, get and age. Now if I go into my test class, which can create a person, so let's see how I can call a person in here. Here, as you can see, I haven't defined a constructor, but a constructor is given to a class by default. What is a constructor? A constructor is the line of code that we might like to call when we create an object of a class. For further discussion about that, please review my video that I have done on constructors. So here what I have is my class test, and I'm trying to create an object of person by using the new operator. So this variable person is actually an address or a reference to the memory location where this person is saved. Now if I call this, I will say person. If I type that, and most of the IDs, when you put a dot in front of it, will bring up all the methods that are available. So here we see a lot of other methods that we haven't written, and we will talk about them, where they are coming from. But you can see our variables are age and name that are available to us. Then we have the get age, get name, set age, and set name methods. What others are coming from, we will discuss with you later on. So basically, our person, you know, we can set name of our person to let's say Jill. Now do another thing. Now what I have done is I have made a class which I call the person class, which I call the faculty class, and I have extended. So let me call this. So what is this class? This class is called faculty, and it has extended the person. What that means is, by doing this, everything that is not private, do understand that private variables and methods do not get inherited, but everything is inherited from person into the faculty class. So I have nothing in there. As you can see, there are no methods, nothing that I have written. But if I go in the task class and if I try to create a faculty, let's say faculty is equal to new faculty, and I'm trying to create a new object, I did. And if I type faculty dot, you can see that I have all of the variables. And there is important that we have the public, or you know, not the private variables. Private variables and private methods are not accessible in here, but they are not inherited. What happened is that faculty has inherited the variables that its parent has, although as you have seen, it has the name and age, and it has the all the other methods. I will explain to you where all the other methods come from. But you see the get age, get name, set age, and set name method coming in here. So it is basically what I have to do is I saved myself some problem by writing just say, for example, his name is Hilaire. So I set the name. Now do another job in here, and I say public class faculty. Let's create another one that we can extend further. So let's say that. Now what I have done is I have also created a class called staff that also extends person. So if I go back in my test class in here and I try to create an object of the, well, no, I should not copy staff. Let's say lowercase staff is equal to new staff, and you will see that I have all of the methods available here as well. So we can say that faculty and staff inherited everything that the class person has. Okay, and this is what the inheritance in here. So we don't have to write all the values, the variables and variable names and getter and setter methods in our faculty and staff class. They are already available to us from our parent class. So in Java you can only extend one parent. Okay, so in other programming languages you can extend more than one class, but here you only extend one parent. So let's play around a little bit with that. Let's say in our faculty class we make a public string. So we make a method that provides the let's say rank. Okay, and that for example, or let's say it provides the let's go to Boolean. And that would be a rank. Let me do it some other way. Let me do it this way. Let's say there is a Boolean variable that defines whether somebody is tenured or not, and then there is a string which we are using to say for rank, right? Now what we can do is we can set up, we can generate code, we can insert code, and we want to set up the getter and setter methods. These are the methods. They might be not visible here. We can do that, and here we generate those. So we have these, you know, variables in there. Let's go into the staff class and create its own method. Here we have a let's say what type of, we have a string department. And let's say we want to get up the getter and insert code for getter and setter methods, and that's about it. We did that. Now if I go back to my test class, and let's try that. Now let's go to first to faculty and see what methods are available for it. I go in here, let's see, now I have the age, name, rank, and tenured. Now if I go to the person, the parent class of faculty, you see that it does not have the rank and is tenured variable or tenured variable available. Is tenured, right? It's not available in here. What happened is that the faculty has inherited everything that the parent has and then has extended it. Similarly, if I go in here and look at the staff and see what methods are available to me, I have only the methods that are inherited from my parent, and then I have my own method. So you can see that department is not available in faculty and is tenured, and the rank is not available in the staff. And the person class does not have any of these values available to it. This is what is called inheritance. Now, an interesting part. As you can see, the person class doesn't extend, like seemingly it doesn't extend and doesn't seem to extend anything from here. But do understand, every class in Java extends a class object. A class is called object. A class name is object. Now it's different from the objects that you store in the RAM. It is called object. Every class in Java extends object. So person is a class that's extending object, but we don't write it in here. Test is a class that is extending object. Faculty is a class that is a grandchild of person because it's extend person and person extends object. And staff is a class that is also a grandchild of object class because it extends person and person extends object, although we don't write it down in here. That is the reason when I try to call the methods for person, it also not only have it its own variables and method, it has a lot of other methods. Every class in Java has these methods. Every class in Java has these methods. Okay, because they are inherited from the class object, which the superclass of all the objects of all the classes in Java. So what did we learn? The class, if I go back in here, the person class here is a superclass of class faculty and staff. And class staff and class faculty are the subclasses of class person. A subclass extends the capability of its parent class or its superclass. So a subclass has everything that is publicly available, or that is not private, sorry, there could be protected that you can use, has everything that its parent has, and it can add more to it. So a parent may have exactly similar things than its child, or maybe less, because child can have more. Okay, so that is the concept of inheritance. I hope you understood this, and please drop in a comment. And if you want me to cover certain subjects or topics that you are confused about, I can use that. I will do the lesson 2 of my series, and I will discuss the overloading and overriding of methods, the concept of overloading and overriding in my next video. Thank you very much.